morning, everybody. For today's class, we're going to continue with the same topic that we were seeing in our last class together. And as you can see, that's the reason why I'm using as title Simple Past Part 2. And I'm going to make a brief review of everything we were seeing in our last class that is related to the verb to be. And I just showed you how you have to conjugate this verb in simple past, that as you can remember, we have to use with every single one of these pronouns. And the only two options that I have here is either was or were. And then we have to add a phrase, an adjective, or another noun. And I showed you how you have to use the positive or affirmative structure, how you have to use the negative structure, and how you have to use the question structure or interrogative structure. And as well, how you have to answer when you're using these type of questions that are closed question or yes or no question. Okay, so knowing all of this, we're gonna go ahead and see how you have to use other type of verbs in simple past and how you have to create the sentences using either the affirmative, the negative, or the question form. So as you can see, again, we have to use the personal pronouns, and I have how you have to use the verb and which type of complements you can add in this type of sentences. So as an example, I use the verb run. I'm gonna write it down right here so you can actually see the base form or the infinitive form. So when we are using this verb in present time or in present tense, we tend to use it either in its base form or adding s or es. In this case, the only thing that we have to do is decide or learn if this verb is either irregular or a regular verb. If it's regular, the only thing that we have to do is add ed at the end. And if it's irregular, then the structure of this verb is gonna change completely. So as you can see, we're using the second option. This verb is irregular. So in this case, it changed its structure completely. So instead of using run with ed at the end, we just have to change the whole thing. And in this case, as you can see, it's changing into run. And you're gonna use this verb, as you can see it in here, with every one of these pronouns. It doesn't change. So later on, I can add my complement. In this case, I decided to use an expression, a past time expression, and then I added a place. But you can add another noun, or you can add other type of past time expressions, or you can use phrases, anything that you like. The only thing that you don't have to do is add another verb. Okay, so knowing that, we're gonna continue with. Okay, so now we're gonna learn how you have to use other type of verbs using past tense or simple past. And we're gonna learn how to create sentences in its affirmative form, negative form, and question form. So we're gonna start with the affirmative form. And as you can see, the first thing that we have to write down is the personal pronoun, or in this case, nouns. Any noun that you want to use with your sentence. Then we will have to add the verb. This verb is already in its past form, but before that it was like this. This is the base form of this verb. So normally we know it like this, and if you want to use present tense, you will use it like this, using I, you, we, and they. And as you remember, with she, he, and it, you have to use an s or es. In this case, the verb stays the same, so you will have to use it like this with all of these pronouns. And we don't have to add more rules to it, and it's not going to change with just a few of them. So it's going to be the same one for all of these ones. So once we already have the verb in its regular form or past form, we're going to add a complement. In this case, you can use nouns, you can use phrases, you can use places, or past time expressions. So in this case, I used a past time expression that is yesterday, and I picked a place. So my sentence